Opening your site to a completely blank screen or a critical error message triggers a sudden spike in panic. For most users, the immediate fear is that the database has been wiped and years of content are gone. This is a PHP fatal error. The script stopped running before it could send a single byte of HTML to the browser. While the page is empty, the database, media files, and posts remain secure and untouched on the server. We are using a 6-step protocol to isolate the specific file causing the crash and restore the site's functionality in under 6 minutes. To begin, you need access to your hosting control panel. Ensure you can reach the File Manager tool, as this is where the primary recovery work occurs. Understanding the architecture of a PHP error turns an apparent site failure into a predictable and reversible logic halt. Step 1 is a cache bust. Open a private window and add the query string $n-c = 1 to the end of your website's URL. This proves if the error is live. If the site loads now, you are viewing a cached copy of a previous crash. If it remains blank, the fatal error is active and requires a server-level fix. Step 2 moves into the hosting control panel. Locate the Metrics section and open the raw server error logs. Troubleshooting by randomly deactivating plugins is inefficient. The server log acts as the single source of truth, recording the exact moment and location of the script failure. Isolate the newest entry in the log. This line provides the directory path that leads directly to the specific file that stopped the site from loading. The log also identifies the exact line of code that triggered the failure, allowing for a surgical recovery. Using this data allows you to bypass guesswork and move straight to the corrupted file. If the server log is empty, we proceed to step 3. In the File Manager, locate the wp-config.php file in your site's root directory. We will modify this file to force WordPress to record its own errors. Set wp-debug-log to true and ensure wp-debug-display is set to false. Setting display to false is a mandatory security measure. Activating the display mode would leak sensitive server paths and configuration details to any visitor on the web. Step 4 targets the specific plugin folder identified in the logs. Navigate to wp-content/plugins inside the File Manager. Right-click that folder and rename it by adding a suffix like -old. Do not delete the folder. Renaming it stops the plugin from executing, which clears the error, while keeping your historical settings and data intact for later recovery. Isolating the single corrupted component allows the rest of the site to resume operation without further damage. Step 5 addresses infrastructure issues. If your logs mention exhausted memory, the problem is the server's environment rather than a specific file. Open the multi-PHP INI editor in your control panel to increase the memory limit. Shared hosting uses a 2-tier memory system. If the server's master container ceiling is reached, increasing the memory limit inside a WordPress file will have no effect. You must raise the limit at the server layer. Step 6 covers crashes that occur immediately after an automated update. This usually indicates a PHP version mismatch. Use the multi-PHP manager to roll the domain back to the previous stable PHP branch. Modern PHP updates remove older functions. If a plugin relies on a structure that has been deprecated, it will trigger an uncatchable fatal error the moment the server updates. Aligning the server environment with the site's specific requirements prevents these automatic conflicts. After addressing the file or environmental conflict, return to your browser and execute a final refresh on your URL. Clearing the fatal error immediately restores the dynamic homepage and the admin dashboard. Now, execute the containment protocol. Return to wp-config.php and set the debug tracking back to false to reseal the site's security. You can now choose to update the isolated plugin, find a modern alternative, or contact your host if you are hitting permanent hardware memory limits. Mastering these 6 diagnostic gates turns the white screen of death into routine infrastructure maintenance.